doing a few activities, a few initiatives to try and help independent professionals like you, which obviously who have obviously been hit very hard by the coronavirus. And so one of the things, for example, we've been doing specifically for event photography or event planning, any services linked specifically to events, is that we have restricted consumers from booking events for the next few weeks until the lockdown is over, so that professionals don't end up paying unnecessarily for events that can't happen. For example, that's one of the things we've done. As an event photographer, and wedding photographer, you're particularly hit by the crisis, I guess, because events really have come to a standstill. And so, tell me a bit how it's been affecting you.
Well, it's. I mean, I'm what used to be classed as a GP photographer. So you do everything. You don't specialise in fashion or anything like that. So it's weddings, portraits, commercial work, headshots, events as well. All of those. And of course, it's just a complete lockdown. Museum work I do as well, and of course museums aren't open. There's been a ban on church weddings, which is not too much of a problem, because I think I did 60 weddings last year, and I think 4 of those were in weddings, so that's not too much of a problem. But it's also the other stuff. It's the venues, it's the cars, all of that has just kind of disappeared. And as a friend of mine said, we've got to be optimistic in this. I know it's very difficult because there's no money coming in. You're okay if you've got a buffer. I've got a little bit of a buffer, which I'm just dipping into. But it's not, the thing that we need to think about is it's not personal. The clients still love you, and the work hasn't gone away. It's just on lockdown.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with you.
No, it's nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with your professionalism or your quality or your pricing or anything like that. And they will be back. So you have to be optimistic, I think, in that respect, and keep it.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Keep that in your mind.
Yeah. Have you, so from what I understand, the coronavirus situation has impacted you across the board, across the services, because as you said, you offer different types of photography. So also, for example, headshot photography, have you tried, for example, to continue with headshot photography, which might be easier because it's one-on-one, and maybe it's easier to keep a safety distance rather than Have you seen any activity on that front?
No activity, because that's got to be client-led. So with headshot photography, you would normally have, to make it worth your while as a photographer, you would have to do, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. If you're doing one person, then it's not cost effective, or you have to charge so much that you're not going to be bought into. So that's a difficult one. And of course, this sort of stuff is great, but it's just not high quality. That's the reason why people are coming to you to get your shots done in the first place.
Fair enough.
So no, that's a difficult one. I don't think that will achieve anything. What I have done is I've done a couple of online webinars, if you like this, dealing with social media and trying to improve people's social media, their picture taking, really, in that social media.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So specifically for like the profile picture.
Could be. It could be. No, it could be. It could be. I mean, we did one yesterday for a museum down for the silk mill down in Whitchurch in Hampshire. And we had 8 people on with their phones, with their cameras, and we still got the prop here.
Very good.
So photograph that. Let's see how we would see how we can improve your imagery through your social media.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You can set that up. You can set your social media up based on what you've taken and how that's going to improve your overall look, really. So that's a positive. If people want to do that, that's that's quite a good recommendation for people to send out to their clients.
That's very good. Yeah. So you're trying to diversify a little bit the same services, but a different medium.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So that's working. And of course, going back to the way that we should be looking at it, in that our clients haven't gone. What I'm doing is I'm spending an awful lot of time on the stuff that I should have been doing in the background. Social media, update your website, make sure your images are good and proper, and your text is right, and all that sort of stuff. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that, because you can't stop. When you're promoting your company, you can't afford to stop.
Yeah.
When it does break, and it will eventually break, you need to be running. You need to already be running.
Yeah, absolutely. How about have you thought, for example, of tweaking your profile a little bit?
Yes.
Have you worked on that at all? Because that's also something that we've been recommending to pros, especially event photographers, particularly events like weddings. Because if it's things like corporate events, then obviously it's, well, unfortunately this year we can't do it, so we'll skip it. We'll do it next year, and that's it. But people will still need to get married. They'll still want to get married. So that was probably something that's building up, and then as soon as the coronavirus situation is over, that will probably bounce back quite strongly, I would imagine. And people are waiting to get married, so it's good to then be ready for that bounce. And have one of the things to do is to have a strong profile, for example. Have you been working on that, or?
It's one of those things I'm working through. And getting that right, particularly on the corporate. I'm quite happy with the wedding profile, although I could do with a little bit of a tweak. But certainly on the corporate side, which is what I'm aiming for a little bit more, the events and the corporate, that needs sorting out. So again, it's a case of finishing off the writing of that and putting out that. And chucking out images that are not less effective, but maybe just cluttering. So instead of having 100 wedding images, cut it down to 20.
Yeah, fair enough. Take really the best 20.
Otherwise, people will just go blind to pictures, and they'll go,
Yeah, that makes sense. And reviews, obviously, they're very important too. Have you thought of
reviews? Yes.
Have you thought of contacting past clients now that there's a bit of a downtime to say, hey, could you take
it? That's a very good point.
Ask them to write a review for you.
So there you go. Note made.
There you go. That's a tip that we like to give, because it's just
Reviews go a long way across the board, don't they?
Yeah. Exactly.
One little tip that I've done for myself, started this about, I guess, 6 months ago, is every event that I do, every event that I attend, I write a review on that location. So it could be a hotel, could be a pub, it could be a conference centre, it could be whatever. So I go on to Google Maps and I select that location and I write a review, and I post pictures that were taken there, which all have a watermark on the bottom that people know that it's me.
That's very good.
And in 6 months I got 80,000 hits on those images.
Wow.
So that works in the overall presence of things.
Yeah, fantastic. That's really good. Interesting. You mentioned earlier about social media and how you're helping other photographers online. So one service that we've launched recently, specifically for photographers in light of this crisis, is photo and video editing. So I don't know if that could be interesting for you, because again, seeing that people can't really do events anymore or meet face to face to do photography. But maybe they can use that service to put their skills to use. Maybe sign up for that one and see.
I will do, definitely. Because I do some of that for a couple of photographers around here.
One last question. How have you been dealing with, have you had a lot of cancellations and refund requests? or have you had a lot of postponements, and how are you dealing with those?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I had 6 jobs booked in the 1 week, and they all transferred the money across. So one, we don't know when the date's going to be, and they've paid up front because they literally pulled out the week before, so they'd already paid. So that's in the bank, waiting for them to use that. And they were happy to do that, and I'm happy to do that. Of course I am. Of course I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
I understand those that would keep a deposit. Don't quite know how I stand on that, how I feel on that. I think business-wise, it's the right thing to keep the deposit. Morally, not sure, because it's nobody's fault, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It hasn't reared its head yet. I would probably cave. I purposely take a very small deposit. For a wedding, for example, I only take 50 quid as a deposit, and they pay the remainder just before, literally, 2 or 3 days before. So I'm happy with any of that. So I'm in these days, if I was to take a huge deposit, and that's morally refundable, I'm going to take a bigger hit than I would normally. So I will maintain that. That's what I will maintain that policy of a small deposit.
Have you had most events cancelled altogether? Most photography requests cancelled, or have they been just rescheduled? Yeah, that's good.
Nothing's been cancelled.
Okay, that's good. At least again, it shows that business will definitely pick up again.
Yeah.
And as you said right at the beginning, it's not entirely. It's not at all up to you, or it doesn't depend on you that things have been. Events have been cancelled. This is just a proof they're not cancelling the whole service. Yes. They're just rescheduling.
Yeah, that's right. And again, not personal. And
exactly. And it's, as you said, it's important to stay optimistic and have faith that it'll all come back. It'll bounce back, which it will.
Completely. Yeah, completely.
Great, Jon. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks a lot for helping other professionals. I really appreciate it. Good luck with your business.
Yeah, and
it works out.
Yeah.
Cheers,
thanks
Jon.
a lot. See ya.
Bye bye.